Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game number 1 in a series between Fly versus Fanta. Fly spawning as the blue orc player under the name Cat, meanwhile Fanta spawning as the red Undead. Unfortunately, there are no observers in this map, meaning I will be forced to watch the game under Fly's point of view, and you will be able to hear all of his rally point clicks. Alright, gonna speed up the game up to the 8 speed right here as we are spawning on Twisted Meadows. Fly spawning as the blue orc on the top right or left hand side of the map, excuse me. Meanwhile, Fanta spawning as the red Undead on the bottom right. A full cross spawn, and this should open up for at least a mid to late game play because of the distances between these two players. Voodoo Lounge being built at a very forward location, very interesting strategy as the Blade Master now makes his way over. Blade Master looks like he will be trying to clear out this creep camp here and then being able to shop right after. Interesting choice as the Death Knight has already made his way out, does have Dust of Appearance in order to tackle that Blade Master, and is going to be attempting to go after... What is he going after? It looks like he's going to be going after either the Goblin Merchant Shop or the Goblin Laboratory. Both of those are viable options as you see the Blade Master quickly going after those Null Wardens first. Null Overseer taking a bit of damage. Meanwhile, the Death Knight is now what is it doing? All right, finally making its way in, and there you go. Here is the engagement. There's a little bit of slow. One skeletal minion taking a lot of damage already as the Mud Golem was taken down. Blade Master should be able to quickly heal up his partners and now pick up double healing salves and looking for perhaps where his opponent could possibly be. However, the Death Knight of Fanta chose a rather interesting creep pattern, and he's going to be able to creep out this location pretty much in peace. Meanwhile, the Blade Master is still looking for his opponent and has not done so, or has not found him yet, as the Death Knight, already sitting at level 2, also has Scourge Bone Chimes to his name, adding a little bit of additional life regeneration or life steal to these ghouls. Coming back around, you can see grunts are in position down over here. We are teching the tier 2. There is still no graveyard as ghoul or cannibalize quickly being researched. So we may see a very heavy ghoul type army in this matchup, and that is very interesting because I expect to see raiders coming from the orc player. Raiders are very good at shutting down high supply count units as they trade very well 1-to-1. However, with the so many ghouls out on the field, it is very difficult to try to ensnare the ghouls, because if you ensnare one ghoul, there are just 6 or 7 more there that make it that much more difficult. The Death Knight going to be getting to level 3. Meanwhile, the Blade Master is sitting at level 2. And both players are just resigning to trying to play a game of creeping. Interesting choice by both sides. This grunt is taking a bit of damage here. Very nice, smart play. Purposely healing salving 2 units while creeping. He may be able to healing salve that unit there. And you can see that that Blade Master is looking very happy with the Ring of Regeneration, Claws of Attack +6, and Circlet of Nobility. Cannibalize on those ghouls, gonna enjoy a little bite to eat. Meanwhile, the Death Knight, already at level 3, has a Talisman of Evasion, and now really creeping out a creep camp that I think he really has no reason to be creeping since it is just so low level. Stronghold now coming into play as we are going into a bestiary. Meanwhile, we are at Halls of the Dead, a graveyard, and a ziggurat now coming into play as the Blade Master now gets to level 3. Death Knight now still creeping out other sides of the map, and this is really just Creep Wars 2014 as everyone is able to just creep in peace. This is something that I haven't seen in quite some time. The Death Knight purposely just creeping out very interesting creep patterns here and getting very much ahead. Finally uses a charge of Dust of Appearance just to try and figure out where his opponent is. He still has no idea where all of this is at, as the Blade Master is not going to be able to really do much. Alright, one low hit point ghoul. Is it going to be able to escape? It looks like no, it will not be able to, as the Blade Master did have +14 attack, and that +14 was enough to pull him a bit ahead. Tauren Chieftain joins in on the fight. We should be looking at a Lich coming in momentarily as the ghouls are all running all the way back here. Sacrificial Pit also being added as the Blade Master gonna try and chase after a low hit point ghoul. Not gonna be able to get in there. There's a Dust of Appearance, and now the Blade Master has taken a bit more damage than he would like. On top of that, unfortunately for the Blade Master, no healing salve. He'll have to visit the shop over here before he can continue any serious harassment. Tauren Chieftain sitting at 1.5, gonna get to level 2 rather easily, but there is a low hit point grunt that has to be a major concern. We'll see whether or not Fly is able to minimize his losses here, as we are going to be starting a fight here in just a second. There you go. The Blade Master is nearby, as we do have Ensnare already researched. Raider should be joining in momentarily, as the Death Knight now on its way out, perhaps looking for additional creep camps. Oh wait, no, what is he doing? He looks like he sold some items to pick up a Boots of Speed, ends up selling his Scourge Bone Chime, so he no longer has Vampiric Aura on all of those ghouls. Ghouls now wandering around here. There's a little bit of damage. One more shot onto that ghoul, and that will be the end of it. Is the Death Knight going to be able to make its way over in time? I don't believe he really even cares, as the ghoul does get taken down. Death Knight is off over here. There is a Death Coil, and getting some damage onto the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain is going to get hit. Oh, Frost Nova. Where is it? Where is the Frost Nova? Oh, no Frost Nova needed, as perhaps Frost Armor was chosen instead. Frost Armor now up. Death Knight now chasing after these units. A Death Coil could have gone down if it had the mana. No mana indeed, as the Blade Master now gonna try and focus down these lower hit point heroes. A Death Knight, not a low hit point hero by any stretch of the imagination, especially with 7 armor, as he's able to retreat and return back home. Let's take a look and recap. Fanta now about to hit Black Citadel. He does have a Slaughterhouse coming into play. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the Orc. Orc is now taking the Fortress. We do have a Bestiary going in for Kodos, and I am very curious as to what we are going to Fortress for. Fortress is generally a it is a tier 3 building that I don't normally see. Last time I saw Fortress was when we saw Troll Witch Doctors, and that was a strategy that is not very common. Most of the time, Orc players generally stay around tier 2. If we do see tier 3, I am curious as to what tier 3 that Fly is really trying to do. Blade Master now runs in and out, doesn't catch anywhere. Let's take a look at this. Altar of Storms is not training up any extra heroes. War Drums damage increase on the Kodos. So War Drums, currently seen at level 1, could easily get to level 2 here in just a moment, as we're looking at Skeletal Minions now rushing inside to perhaps put a bit of pressure. We are now sitting at 47/50 supply, and we did get melee upgrades and now getting reinforced defenses for these Orc burrows. It really makes a lot of sense. You want to make sure you have fortified armor, especially against destroyers who can normally start supply blocking you if you are not careful. All right. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and take a look back down over here. Tauren Chieftain may get to level 3 as Gargoyles are now in the air. Gargoyles going to get some easy shots. They, however, do get ensnared here as Ogre Warrior 1 does fall. Ogre Warrior 2 could be falling here in just a moment, and Purge onto the Obsidian Statue. That is a huge problem. The Obsidian Statue cannot be taking that much damage, as we now see a Dreadlord come into play. I don't remember the last time I ever saw a Dreadlord, as we see the Obsidian Statue sitting at 16 hit points and somehow staying alive. Alright, Blade Master finally comes in, gets the kill there. No easy kill at all. Is the Dreadlord going to be able to... Did it sleep a hero? I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on. I don't know what attack the Dreadlord... Yes, the Dreadlord did in fact get some sleep. Death Knight now coming over, gonna get an easy surround onto the Tauren Chieftain, as easy of a surround as you can have on a Tauren Chieftain that can stomp, and that unit is just gonna have a very bad day. Wait, no speed scroll being used now. Death Knight unable to chase it down. There is another surround here ready to go, as there you have it. All right, that Tauren Chieftain is having a very bad day. There, down it goes for a second time. Level 3 Tauren Chieftain falls as the Blade Master now tries to run back as well. Death Knight trying to get some easy shots there. It looks like the Grunt will get taken down. Death Knight sitting at level 4. Still has enough for a good death coil now, as we see the Undead Tri-Hero coming in from Fanta. Level 2 now on the Lich, so the Lich does have Frost Nova if need be. And there is that Frost Nova there, causing so many problems, slowing down so many units. As we can see, the Grunt now trying to make its way back. Grunt does have a little bit of low armor with the Orb of Corruption. And now what are we going to be having? We are looking at the fortified defenses of the Orc Burrows, slowing everything else up. Dreadlord, Ghouls, Death Knight now making its way back. Let's take a look at this. Lich is still sitting at level 2. The Lich is rather fast, and the Death Knight is rather low on mana. Fanta so far having a very, very good time in this game. He's been able to take down 2 heroes, picks up a Boots of Quell the Loss. No real use at all. Gonna go ahead and quickly sell them, perhaps for the Potion of Invulnerability or even a Scroll of Healing, as that does make a bit of a difference. Vampiric Aura now on the Dreadlord, who is gonna pick up that Tome of Strength. The Lich does. The Lich wanting that extra bit of hit points, as it is able to keep the rest of the army alive, or at least nullify some of the potential damage threat of that Blade Master. Blade Master with plus 34 damage. That is absolutely ludicrous damage, as we see a Cloak of Shadows and a Potion of Greater Mana. Let's take a look at that. The Potion of Greater Mana going to be perhaps walked back to the Tauren Chieftain. The Tauren Chieftain is on his way out, and there he is. We're going to see that... no, did he sell some items? Let's see. Potion of Mana was sold. Interestingly, the Potion of Mana was sold, and we may see these items picked back up once more. There is a Cloak of Shadows, which really has no reason to be. The Tauren Chieftain now going to be able to Shadow Meld if it chooses to. Death Knight sitting at 4.5. Lich is sitting at almost 3. Dreadlord is sitting at 2. And he also has an Orb of Darkness. Orb of Darkness, essentially giving black arrow to the attacks of the Dreadlord. And it doesn't really matter here. Normally you want that on a ranged hero, but the Lich already has an Orb of Corruption, and that is where you want the Orb of Corruption to be residing. Blade Master sitting at level 4 now has Devotion Aura, giving additional armor to all of his Kodos and his units. All of his units attack faster, deal more damage, walk faster, and have more hit points. A really, really balanced trifecta of auras on all of these units here, until the Tauren Chieftain decides to sell it, saying, hey, it's not really worth it. Apparently, it is a bad day to be a creep camp here on Twisted Meadows, as the majority of the creep camps, save for 2, have now been completely cleared on the main island. Yes, some low-level green creep camps, those will probably not get taken out at all, as the Death Knight now has that Orb of Darkness. All right, Orb of Darkness on a Death Knight. Skeletal minions. There is... is this the last? Yes, this is the last orange creep camp left on the map. It's going to get taken out pretty easily. Dreadlord now sitting at 3. Lich was already at 3, as the Death Knight should be just shy of level 5. Yes, 53 experience shy from level 5. The Dreadlord is there. He has enough experience, or perhaps the Lich had enough experience to try to tip things in their favor. And I can't believe I missed this creep camp as well. So all the internal creep camps pretty much are being chased down and cleared up very, very quickly here. As we're looking at the Forest Troll Trapper, the Rock Golem is still going to be able to stay alive, as the Destroyers and the Bone Worms, Frostworms, excuse me, cannot take them down. All right, Frostworms now making their rounds back off to the north. You can see the Death Knight is sitting at level 5, won't be able to gain any more experience from creeps. So if we do see the Death Knight creeping, it should perhaps be backing off and letting the Dreadlord and the Lich gain the majority of the experience. Blade Master still wandering out ahead, looking for some extra creep camps, looking for perhaps where his opponent is, and has not found it. All right, here's an engagement. All right, very, very quickly taking down one Grunt. More units now coming in as well. The destroyers going after the headhunters very quickly, and the headhunter, or the berserkers, excuse me, just falling at a rapid rate. Blade Master does get to 5, but I don't think it's going to really matter at all, as unit after unit from Fly is getting destroyed. Alright, even with an ensnare on the Lich, that Lich and getting stunned, that Lich still looks extremely capable, as it is sitting at maximum life once again with the help of a Blade Master. Alright, Lich now sitting at level 4, doing a great job, and it looks like Fanta is going to end up taking game number 1 in the series in a very, very impressive fashion. There it goes. Fly giving the GG, Fanta taking game 1. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number 2.